Hi, I'm Finger. Welcome to this session of yoga for vitality. Today's practice is going to help us move out of fear and uncertainty and into a space of infinite, unbounded potential. Anytime we're in a space that feels uncertain, fearful, like we don't have the answers, we can either look at that as a space of limitation or a space for infinite possibilities and creativity. And it's often in these moments where we don't have the answers that we can tap into our creativity. And we can use our yoga practice to help us to connect to that quality of spontaneity and creativity and wisdom and insight. So we'll use this practice to connect to our fluidity, the part of us that maybe isn't form-based or in our minds or in our intellect or the cerebral answers, but the part of us that can flow and feel inspired and let that lead us to a space of creativity and unbound potential. So we'll begin in a comfortable cross-legged seat. You can have 2 blocks, maybe a blanket if you need. Sit up nice and tall. Let your sitting bones release evenly underneath you. And if you need some support underneath your knees, you can always slide a block underneath each knee, especially if your hips are a little tight, because we want to be able to feel the body easeful here. We'll take the right hand under the left armpit and the left hand underneath the right armpit, crisscrossing at your forearms. Sitting up nice and tall. Close your eyes. Just begin to notice the quality of your breathing. Without forcing the breath. We're needing the breath to look a certain way or feel a certain way. Can you just receive the breath? Let it be breathed. Now taking the hand that's on top, slide it underneath and place it under the same armpit. So now the opposite arm, most likely the right forearm, is on top. And again, close the eyes. This is a very simple pranayama technique, a breath technique. It helps us to balance the flow of air through the right and left nostril, which helps us also to balance the right and left brain hemispheres, moving us into a state of creativity and imagination. Keeping your eyes closed, we'll rest now the backs of the hands to the knees, bringing the thumb and forefinger to touch. Continue to allow your breath to naturally rise and fall without strain. Let your breath be breathed. Taking one palm on top of the head and bring the other palm on top of that hand. Keep your eyes closed and just feel the top of your head, the crown of your head pressing into your hands and your hands pressing into the crown. At the same time, feel that subtle lift up of your pelvic floor. It's called Mula Bandha. See if you can feel these 2 end points, the base of your spine and the very crown of your head. And between those 2 end points, visualize a line. Release your hand back down, thumb and forefingers to touch, and feel this line. That's like this line that connects you to infinite potential. Feeling as you breathe in that the lungs, the rib cage, the side body expands, you open up to receive this electromagnetic field of light that enters in through the crown of the head, travels down that central channel to just in front of your sacrum. As you breathe out, the belly pulls in. Feel that radiance, that magnetism charge into each cell of your body. As you breathe in, you open up to receive light, radiance, unbound intelligence. It moves down the central line. As you breathe out, the belly pulls in and you expand that radiance, that intelligence from in front of your sacrum into each cell of your body. And then listening as you breathe in for the sound, sa, the sound of pure energy. And as you breathe out, the sound is hum, the sound of transformation. As you're accessing on the in-breath, the spark of light, intelligence that moves from the crown of the head down that line of your spine to in front of your sacrum. And as you breathe out, you feel that intelligence radiate out into each cell of your body. Take a smooth breath in here. Interlace your fingers. As you next happen to breathe out, stretch your arms forward, round your spine, tuck your tailbone, drop your head down. Inhale, stretch the arms wide, palms up, gaze up, make space across your collarbones. Exhale, lace your fingers, stretch your arms forward and round your spine. And just move like this on your own, a couple of times, welcoming on the in-breath, sa, this radiance, top of the head to the base. And as you exhale, feel hum, that distribution of energy into each cell of your body. Breathing in, sa, welcome, radiance, intelligence, possibilities. And as you exhale, hum, feel that you become that intelligence, those possibilities. One more smooth breath in, palms up, gaze up, space across your collarbones. Exhale, lace your fingers, stretch your arms forward, rounding your spine. Keep your fingers laced and lift the arms straight up overhead, taking a smooth breath in here. As you exhale, press your palms up towards the ceiling, root your seat down well into the floor, then lengthen a little longer and taller through your spine. As you exhale, float the arms down alongside the body. Bring your palms to touch at the center of your chest. Take a moment to feel the right and the left hand pressing against one another. And that is a symbol of union, of oneness. And when we're in that space of oneness, we're in non-duality, where we don't limit or fragment ourselves, but we can open up to all possibilities. And letting your chin float down, float the eyes open. Let's come up to hands and knees. You can take your blocks to the side of the mat if you're using them. Wrists under the shoulders, knees under your hips, fingers spread comfortably wide. I'm just gonna start by moving the hips from side to side. Just lean into the right and lean into the left. And then you can begin to circle your pelvis in one direction. And there's no beginning or end. There's no right or wrong. This is just a process of connecting and feeling. You can move your pelvis in the opposite direction. Maybe you want to close your eyes. When we close our eyes, we move away from form and shape, all of those things that limit us. And coming back into a neutral position with your spine as you breathe and reach your heart forward, face looks up, sit bones lift. As you breathe out, press the tops of the feet into the mat, rounding your spine, tuck your tailbone. Inhale, arch the upper back, face looks up, sit bones lift. Welcoming that intelligence. Exhale, belly pulls in. Feel again that you distribute that intelligence into your body. We'll add that visual, sa, moving this light from the top of the head to the base of the spine, hum, charging that light into each cell of your body. Once more, sigh as you open up. Just feel the breath breathing you. Moving on your rhythm. Hum as you breathe out. And then inhale, come back into a neutral position with your spine. Walk your hands a little forward of your shoulders. Curl your toes into the floor. Inhale. Exhale, slowly begin to reach your hips up and back as you press your hands firmly into the floor. Downward facing dog. Take a peek back at your feet and just make sure that the heels are aligned behind the widest part of your feet. You can always bend the knees a little bit to make more space, more length for your spine. Or you can take your hands a little wider, so just opening up to new possibilities of how you can come into this pose. If the way you're doing it feels limiting or constricted in any way, just play with new versions. Let your head release, letting go of any tension in your head or your neck. As you next inhale, we'll come forward into plank or modified plank. Shoulders over your wrists, legs strong, gaze a little bit forward. You can always drop your knees if that's too strenuous for you. And as you breathe out, press slowly back to downward facing dog, or you can stay on your knees and rest in child's pose. Again, coming forward to plank or modified plank. Exhale back to down dog or resting in child's. Take that 2 more times on your own. Just move on your own breath, feeling your own pace, and notice if your tendency is to only do it one way. And just see if you connect to what you're authentically feeling is the right action for you. We'll all eventually meet back in downward facing dog. From down dog, we'll walk our hands back to the feet. So keep the feet right where they are. Just changing it up a little bit here. Bend the knees. Grab hold of opposite elbow with your hands and let your head hang in ragdoll. So shake your head a little bit from side to side. Forward and back. Maybe breathe out through your mouth. Letting go of any unnecessary tension. Switch the crossing of your arms so the opposite arm is on top. Head is heavy again, smooth inhale. Open up your mouth and exhale. Getting unstuck. Keep your knees nice and soft and walk your hands forward. Again, coming back into downward facing dog. No rush at all, but just see that the hands are more or less on the same line. Pressing well into the pads of your hands, hips and thighs, reach up and back. As you breathe in, rise up off your heels, gaze forward. As you breathe out, step the right foot forward. You can help it up if you need to. Now, if your hands don't easily reach the floor, grab blocks underneath each hand. So you make a little more space and length for your torso. Press the right heel back, reach the center of your chest forward. Breathing in here, lower your back knees down onto the mat. Take a little lift through the center of your chest. You kind of open up through the front of your body, gazing up. And as you breathe out, curl the back toes, straighten both legs, and fold over your front thigh. Do that a couple more times. Bend the front knee, drop the back knee. Listen for sa, that sound of the inhale, top of the head to the base. Exhale, hum as you straighten both legs, folding over your front thigh. Again, sigh as you open up to receive, making space. And hum as you breathe out, feeling that manifestation. Again, sigh, welcoming this new breath, this new space, and hum. Straighten both legs. Bend the front knee, take your blocks to the side of the mat, step both feet back to downward facing dog. Right foot meets the left. Just notice what you feel without needing to feel a certain way. Just observe. You can stay here or come forward into plank pose. Shoulders over your wrists. Gaze a little forward. Exhale with or without your knees. Take a slow chaturanga all the way down to the mat in one unit onto your belly. Press back for your toes and peel with your chest, your neck, your head up off the floor, baby cobra. Back of the neck stays long. Notice if you're holding tension in your head and your neck, and you let your head, which is where your conscious energy, your thoughts, your planning lies, let that be easeful and free. And feel the strength in your upper back. Inhale as you exhale, float your head down. Curl your toes, come back to hands and knees, and then reach your hips up and back, coming back to downward facing dog. Taking an inhale, rise up off your heels, look forward. Exhale and step your left foot forward. Help it up if you need to. If the knee doesn't make it right over the ankle on the first shot. Hands to the blocks on either side of your left foot. Press your back heel back. Reach the center of your chest forward. Shoulders away from the ears. As you breathe in, drop the back knee. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. So we open up through the front of the body, but keep your low belly engaged. As you exhale, straighten both legs and fold over your front thigh. Again, inhale, bend the front knee, drop the back knee, sa moves down, crown to base. Exhale, hum as you straighten both legs, folding over the front thigh. 2 more times on your own. So see if you can just move to the rhythm of your breath in your body. Maybe that's a new way of moving for you. Can you open up and explore that new way of moving and being in your body? Sigh as you breathe in, hum as you breathe out. Now bending the front knee, take your blocks to the side of the mat, palms to the floor, left foot meets the right foot, come back to down dog, line your heels behind the widest part of your feet, fingers spread wide. Breathing in once again, we'll come forward to plank or modified plank, gaze forward. Exhale with or without your knees, lower down to the mat, all the way down in one unit. Press back through your toes. You can either stay with baby cobra, lifting the head, neck, chest, or if you'd like to, slide your hands back a couple of inches and work your way into upward facing dog. Hands pressed down right under the shoulders, then lift your hips, lift your thighs, and lift your knees up off the floor. Roll the shoulder blades back, open up through the heart, back of the neck stays long. Smooth breath in here. Curl your toes into the floor and use your abdominal muscles to lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward to your hands now, and either walk, step, or jump your feet to meet your hands. Bringing your hands to your shin bones, come halfway up, lengthening your spine. Exhale, soften your knees, fold forward over the legs. As you next breathe in, sweep the arms out, around and up. See the palms pressing at the top. The palms touching as you lower your hands down the midline of the body. Let's take a moment here and stand in Tadasana, mountain pose, bringing the heels behind the widest part of the feet, spreading your toes. Draw the energy of the earth up through the soles of your feet. Let your palms face forward alongside your body and feel the head and neck just floating freely on the tip of the spine. And connect in this pose, not just to the form, to what is structured, but feel how that structure opens you up to freedom, to unbound potential. And then welcoming that potential with your next breath in, floating the arms out and up, sa. Listen for the sound of the in-breath. Exhale, hum as you dive forward. A little bend through the knees. Head to the mat. Inhale, bring your hands to your shin bones, lengthen your spine, gaze a little bit forward. Exhale, fold right back over the legs. Breathing in, arms stretch out and up, rising up through a flat back, palms pressing at the top. Keep them touching as you lower your hands right back down the midline of your body. Let's do that again. Feel the breath begin and you welcome Sa, unbound intelligence, top of the head to the base of the spine. Exhale, hum as you fold forward, charging that intelligence out into your physical body. Inhale, Sa, feel this line from the top of your head to the base of the spine. Hum as you fold back forward over the legs, belly to thighs, head to the earth. Let the inhale carry you all the way up, feeling Sa move down as you rise up. Exhale the hands right back down the midline of your body, standing tall in potentiality. Adding on, sweep the arms out and up. Inspire the movement from your breath, Sa. Exhale, dive forward like you're moving through water. Let your head go. Inhale, come halfway up into a flat back, lengthening your spine. Exhale, touch your fingertips to the mat and step your left foot way back to low lunge. As you breathe in, bring the right foot back to meet the left foot, plank pose. Keep your gaze forward. As you exhale, you can either lower half or all the way down to the floor, elbows in by your sides. Then breathe in, you can either come to upward facing dog or stay with baby cobra, shoulder blades on the back, and then pull from your belly to press slowly back into downward facing dog. Arrange your hands, arrange your feet. Receive your breath. Breathe in all the way. Exhale all the way. Inhale, rise above your heels, gaze forward. Exhale, bend the knees. You can either walk, step, or jump your feet to meet your hands. Hands to your shin bones as you inhale. Exhale, fold back forward over your legs. Breathing in, arms stretch out and up. Sighs the sound, crown to base. Hum as you lower your hands down the midline of your body. Once again, sweep the arms down, around and up, opening up to pure intelligence with your in-breath. Exhale, hum. Feel that transformation of energy, your joints spacious. As you breathe in, come halfway up, lengthening your spine. Breathing out, bend the knees, step the right foot way back. Keep that leg strong as your left foot meets it, plank pose. Gaze a little bit forward and lower chaturanga, either half or all the way down, elbows in. Inhale to your choice of the back bend, up dog or baby cobra. Inner thighs lift here. Exhale, pulls you back to downward facing dog. Opening up to the possibility here that you might need a rest, and then you can drop your knees and rest in child's pose. Maybe you feel empowered, or because resting is a form of power. Maybe you feel you have a little more to burn off and you want to stay and breathe in down dog, but just open up to what is in alignment for you. We'll all eventually meet back in downward facing dog. And gazing up on your inhale, bend your knees, either walk, step, or jump your feet to meet your hands. Breathing in, lengthen your spine. Breathing out, forward bend over your legs. Inhale the arms around and up. Feel Sa down as you rise up. Exhale, lower your hands down the midline of your body. Just take a moment here, let the arms flow down alongside your body, closing your eyes, exploring this landscape. Be different than when you first came into this pose. It's a new experience, a new way of being in your body. Just open up to that. We'll bring the hands to the hips. Turn and face the side of your mat, legs wide, a little wider than legs distance apart. We'll pivot the right toes out, left toes in just a little bit for warrior two. Level your hips so the right hip lifts, left hip lowers down, and then bend the right knee so your right knee lines up over your second toe. Reach your arms wide in a T position. Spin your palms to face up so you feel space across your collarbones. Keep that space as you float the palms back down. Feel the subtle lift of your pelvic floor, gazing out over the right middle finger. Take a few steady breaths in and out. Notice if you're tightening your jaw. Notice if you're clenching anywhere. When we clench, we block off that flow of life force energy. Keep that flow, that creativity moving. And the right palm faces up. Inhale, we'll slide the back arm to the back leg. You can do that with a straighter bent front leg. As you exhale, take your forearm to your thigh, your arm overhead, side angle. Savasana. Do that again. Inhale, back arm to the back leg. Reach up to go back. Engage your low belly. Exhale, forearm to the thigh, arm overhead, side angle. Once more like this on your own. Feel, the sound of pure energy as you inhale, and hum the sound of transformation as you exhale. We'll pause here with the forearm to the thigh, the arm up and overhead, and maybe you want to stay in this pose. This might give you a sense of steadiness and ease. Maybe you want to take the left arm up, spin the palm back, and wrap your left arm around your waist, taking a little shoulder opener. See how that feels. What opens up in your body? Can you roll the left ribs open a little bit, the right ribs underneath you? Maybe you want to slide the right arm in front of your right thigh, clasp your fingers behind you, and come into a fuller version of this bind. Not if you're rounding in your spine or cutting off the free flow of the breath. So if you're doing that, or you've lost the line of your spine, then you've lost that connection to infinite possibilities. So always keeping that channel clear, keeping your breath free and flowing. Take the left arm back up and overhead if you're in the half bind. Press into your back foot, come all the way up to stand. Straighten your right leg. Exhale, take your hands to your hips. Pivot the right toes in. Pivot the left toes out. Bend your left knee, line your left knee right over your second toe. Level the pelvis here, arms stretch wide in that T position. Spin the palms to face up. Make space across your collarbones. Try and even spread your toes here so you're not gripping with the toes, but you feel that subtle lift of your pelvic floor. Keep that opening through the chest as you float the palms down and gaze out over your left middle finger now. Holding the pose, but not the breath. Opening up to the possibility that you have more endurance, more patience, more capacity than maybe your mind is telling you. Left palm faces up, inhale, slide the back arm to the back leg, reach up to go back, reverse warrior. Exhale, left forearm to the left thigh, right arm up and overhead, side angle, Savasana. And just moving on the breath like this, back arm to the back leg as you breathe in, open up to pure energy. Forearm to the thigh, arm overhead, hum, feel that transformation of energy. Once again, on your own, as you breathe in, welcoming pure energy, and hum as you breathe out. Charge it into your body. Forearm to the thigh, arm is up overhead. You can stay here Or take the right arm up towards the ceiling, spin the palm back and wrap the arm around your waist. And again, see how that feels. What does that translate to in your breath, in your mind? Are you able to connect to that subtle line? If you did the full bind on the other side, you can take that option here or skip it and stay with any of the first two options. Take 2 more breaths. Feel that central channel. Saw as you breathe in. Hum as you breathe out. Even when the pose is challenging, we still have access to infinite potential. Taking the right arm back up and overhead. Press into your back foot. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to your hips. Pivot your left toes in now. Feet stay wide but parallel. Draw your elbows back towards one another. Engage your low belly. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. As you exhale, hinge forward at your hips. Come all the way down towards the mat. Hands either to the floor, or you can always use your blocks underneath each hand. Inhale, feel the front of your body opening. As you exhale, deepen a little bit into the forward bend. Inhale to make space. Exhale to deepen into the space that you created. Try and pour the weight a little bit to the balls of your feet so you don't slam back too much in your knee joints. And then shake your head side to side, forward and back. 13 pounds or so, just releasing towards the mat. Letting go of the need to know, the need to have the answers. See things in a new way, literally. And then we'll all come up into a long spine, halfway lift. Take a little bend through the knees. Engage your low belly, hands to your hips, and rise up through a flat back, all the way up to stand. Once again, take a little lift through the center of your chest, back of the neck stays long, and then back to center. Either step or jump your feet back to the top of your mat, standing tall in Tadasana mountain pose. Back to the simple, steady, embodied pose. So next, happen to breathe in, float the arms out and up. Bend your knees and reach your seat back, coming into chair pose. Utkatasana, weight back to the heels. As you breathe out, fold forward. Take your belly to your thighs and straighten your legs as best you can. Let your head drop down. Breathing in, hands to your shin bones, gaze a little bit forward. Breathing out, bend the knees. You can either step back to plank or you can jump to the low push-up position. Lowering half or all the way down, elbows in, chaturanga. Inhale, either to up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, pulls you back to downward facing dog. Big breath in, open up your mouth and breathe out. Letting out a sigh. Drop your knees down onto the mat. Sit back onto your heels. Take a moment in child's pose. You can rest your forehead onto your hands or onto the mat. Just get quiet for a moment or two. Opening up to the possibility that you can be still and internal without needing to fill the space up. You're going to come back up to hands and knees. We're going to take Dolphin pose, headstand prep, which is a version of an inversion without putting any pressure on the head or the neck. So we'll lower the elbows down to the mat so they line up directly underneath the shoulders. Then we'll interlace the fingers, press the forearms down, curl the toes into the floor, and then slowly begin to reach your hips up and back. You can walk your feet in a little bit closer towards your face. You can always bend your knees a little more generously, especially if your shoulders or your hamstrings are tight. And as you press your forearms down, reach your hips way up and back. So this is excellent to reverse the flow of gravity, to help us to see things in a new way, to bring blood to the brain. It helps with alertness. It also helps bring the deoxygenated blood back to the heart. And breathing in and out. This is a new way of looking at the world. Sometimes we need to change the way we perceive the world in order to consider that there's a new possibility, an opportunity, and not limitation. Take one more smooth inhale, and then we'll slowly lower the knees down onto the mat. You can either sit back on your heels, or you can sit on a block or two blocks. So come to sit on to right side up. Take a visual here. Your right thumb and point your finger to touch like you're pinching something very small. You're going to press the point right at the center of your chest as you're sitting here on your block or on your heels. Right thumb and point your finger to touch and press the point right at the center of your chest. This is the mudra of the self, Ahankara mudra. Close your eyes. And just feel that upward energy moving down and a downward energy moving up. And feel how they meet, they converge right at the center of your chest. And at that set space, at the center of your chest, you feel the spark of light. It's radiance, it's magnetism that expands out into each cell of your body. You can release your right hand down now and just rest in that energy of light, of luminosity. Feel the light expand beyond your body into this field, the shimmer of light around you. You're just bathing in. And now we'll rest the chin back down towards the chest. Slowly float your eyes open to a point a little bit in front of you. Let your eyes float back up. We'll come off of the block, slide the block out from underneath you. And sit onto the right side of your feet. And if you can, hook your right foot on top of your left ankle. Take your left fingertips alongside you and reach the right arm up and overhead, side bending to your left. And come back as you close your eyes to that central line, crown to base. Saw as you inhale. Hum as you exhale. Just 2 more breaths, navigating through the pose. Let you feel a sense of spaciousness inside you. Come back to center. And you'll swing the feet over to the other side. So now sitting onto the left side of your feet, left foot hooks on top of the right ankle, right fingertips alongside you, left arm reaches up and overhead, side bending to your right. If you're comfortable closing the eyes, you can close your eyes. Back to that Saham breath, Sa as you breathe in, crown to base. Hum as you breathe out into each cell of your body and just soften inwards to feel. Not needing to perfect or master anything, just getting curious, being exploratory. Lower your left arm down. We'll stretch the legs out in front, coming into Dandasana, staff pose. Adjust your seat a little bit. Spread your toes, firm your thighs. Sit up nice and tall so you feel again that central line, crown to base. Organizing your body so that you can feel the support of your belly and your lower back. Maybe you float the arms up overhead, or you can keep them down alongside you. And then a couple of those welcoming breaths, those inspiring, replenishing breaths. As you inhale, crown to base. Hum as you exhale into each cell of your body. 2 more breaths on your own. Keep your jaw relaxed, your facial muscles soft. And then float the arms down. And finally, we'll bring the soles of the feet together. Knees come wide apart. Adjust your seat a little bit from side to side. You can take your hands back behind you or walk them out in front of you if you have a little more range here. You're just going to move breath by breath into the forward bend, not needing to have any end goal, not needing to get anywhere with this. So again, I invite you to do this with your eyes closed, to explore where you feel sensation in your body here. Breathing in to make space, breathing out to deepen into that space. And if you like, you can take your block or 2 blocks and place them underneath your forehead to make this a more restorative pose. Your shoulders relax. Let your head be heavy. As soon as we're in that space of effort, of posturing, making something happen, we've closed off another avenue of what could be. So now rest in the space of quiet, stillness, of receptivity, where you don't have to have all the answers. Just be in the curiosity. Gently begin to roll back up. Gather your knees in towards one another and scoot forward to the front edge of your mat. You can slide the blocks off to the side now, or if you want, you can place them under your knees for some support, or even a blanket or a bolster. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Slowly begin to lower down 1 vertebra at a time onto your back. When you get to the very bottom, bring your palms to face up. Adjust your shoulder blades, excuse me, so they rest underneath your chest cavity. Adjust your buttocks. So the flesh of your butt is supporting your pelvis, letting your thigh bones roll open. And feel the back of your head supporting your neck. Your jaw relaxed. Moving into the space at the middle of your brain. Visualize an electric blue screen right at the screen of your mind. And written on that electric electric blue screen, see a word, an intention, an affirmation that you'd like to see manifest. Maybe it's peace, maybe it's abundance, maybe it's love. Just see that word written on the screen of your mind in white writing. Let that word transform into a seed form. And let that seed, carrying that word, move down into your throat. Say the word at your throat. Let it move down into your heart. Say the word at your heart. Let it move down into your navel. Say the word at your navel. Down into your pelvis. Say the word at your pelvis. Let the seed move down to the very base of your spine. Say the word there at your pelvic floor. And let the word, the seed, transform into a red mist of light. Feel that red mist of light expand out into each cell of your body. Each cell of your body is radiant and luminous with that vibration of that word. Feel the light expand beyond the parameters of your body into a red mist of light around you, just bathing in. Resting in your own infinite potential. Now begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle the toes. Stretch your arms up overhead and take one side longer than the other. And stretch the other side longer. Bend both knees and roll over to your right side in fetal position, curling into a little ball. And in your own time, press your hands down into the mat. Let your head be the last to come up. Sit up nice and tall. Join your palms to touch at the center of your chest and bow your head down, surrendering to the light, the wisdom, the love, the unbound potential that is right there within you, and let it flood into each moment of your living. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.